We arrived too late. Our mouths were opening. I turned out the light. So come on now. You're a witness, you see me interrupt a good old-fashioned fight. So come on now. What is gone? Hold me on. Hold me on. Watch the dying day blushing in the sky. Everyone is uptight. So come on now. What is gone? Only no, we're not illegitimate in our hearing. So come on, so come on now.
100 degrees that weekend. She said, "This neighborhood is so charming," instead of, "I can't believe you live here." She was just so kind and caring and always very easy to be around. I will miss her dearly, and I thank her for everything that she gave to us, our family, over the years. And I will always keep in touch with her wonderful children because her spirit lives on in you guys. Thanks for sharing us. Thanks for sharing her with us.
I'm Pat's sister. Of all the people in this room, I knew her the longest. Just a little bit longer than Margaret Brown, if Margaret is here, who was her friend from when we were growing up. Pat was always there for me, and now thoughts of our times growing up together have been flooding my memory. As you know, Pat was a gift giver. When we shopped together, if I'd comment on something, she'd say, "Why don't I buy it for you?" My husband and I are in the process of moving next month. As my eye rests on absolutely everything we own, I realize how many things Pat has given me over the years. She loved to give me gifts, including many that said sister on them. The last gift she gave me was a cute little flashlight that stands on a tripod. She sent that to me a week before she died. Thank you, Pat. I've used it already. And when did all this gift giving begin? Like all of her other standout qualities, it began in Pat's youth. My first memory of being the recipient of Pat's generosity took place one Christmas when we were kids. Pat must have had her own spending money, thanks to a part-time job. She, our mom and dad, were taking turns opening our Christmas gifts. When Pat and our mom and dad were finished with all of theirs, there were still several gifts left that were all addressed to me, and they were all from Pat.
Photo of the Great Northern Blanket. I'm like, oh, this is a story I've never heard before, the Great Northern Blanket. And so I've since heard the story, and I wanted to share it with you guys in case you ever stumble upon the Great Northern Blanket going through Pat's things. Now you'll know the story if you haven't heard it before. But when my mom and Pat were between their sophomore and junior year in college at St. Kate's, they went to work up at Glacier National Park. And evidently they applied pretty late. So they ended up peeling potatoes the whole summer, which was the least glamorous job, with no tips, apparently. Tips all went to the service staff in the kitchen. And apparently at the time, the only way to get there was on the Great Northern Railroad. And when you got to to Glacier National Park, you were provided a bunk bed, I guess, with 2 sheets, a top sheet and a bottom sheet, a pillow, and a Great Northern blanket. And according to my mom, according to lore, they worked pretty hard peeling potatoes, and there's a series of escapades in the kitchen, and they were paid virtually nothing for their work. So at the end of the summer, they just decided to take the Great Northern blankets with them as part of their compensation. So, sorry to leave it to the rogue goddaughter to break the news that Pat actually had some foibles. But I'm sure it was my mom's idea, if that makes you feel any better. And according to my mom, if it's less than $50, it's a venial sin. So I'm sure Pat has done just fine at the pearly gates. Celebrating my goddaughter's 15th birthday. And I'm very proud to say that I've never missed a birthday or a Christmas thanks to Pat.
Any of those other things like most of the guys do. So he hung around with the gals a lot, and from hanging around with them, he learned how women think, he learned how women talk, he learned how to compliment them, and I heard him tell a woman one time, "I see you like bright nail polish." And she took that as a compliment, and I was looking at her nails and thinking, they're really pretty ugly. But anyway, when he finished with his 2 years in the Air Force, he decided he was going to take a little vacation. So he went to Detroit, and he bought himself a brand new Ford off the, what do you call it, Roby? Yeah, right off the factory, got this brand new Ford. And I was in my freshman year of college, just finished my freshman year of college at the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, where Donna and Al and I all went to college. And I got this phone call from him, and he said, "I'm going home to visit the folks," and he said, "I'd like to take you out to dinner." So I had a final exam the next day, but I didn't tell him that. And he did take me out to dinner, being a specialty. I didn't hear anything more about women for quite a while until I got another letter about 2 years later. Well, actually, it was a little longer than that. I think I was a senior in college by then. And he said, "Redheads are good tennis players." I thought, okay, he's found the right one. But I didn't meet your mom until a couple of days before the wedding. And by the time they got married during my Christmas holiday, during the school holiday, because I was a teacher, and got this wedding invitation. And I said, okay, what am I going to get them for a wedding present? And I thought, well, everybody needs a clock. Well, this was back before batteries in clocks and everything. And these clocks that you wound up once a year, they call them anniversary clocks, because you'd wind them on your anniversary, and then the next year, presumably, they'd run for 365 days. I thought, oh, this is a really nice birthday present. And my parents had also received a clock for a wedding gift. I have that one. It's a real antique now. And so I thought, okay, that's a real good wedding present. And people don't usually give clocks, right? So I got this clock and I wrapped it up and I got on the plane and I went to Minneapolis, the airport, and there was a snowstorm and everything. Well, I ended up in Rochester because my folks had picked me up. And then, of course, I met Pat. Didn't have any idea what she looked like because he'd never sent a picture. She was gorgeous. She had the most beautiful auburn hair, and she was so sweet. You know, you just couldn't help but fall in love with her right away. Well, after the wedding, and she was a beautiful bride, after the wedding, families sat around, they're opening these wedding presents and talking about things, you know, and Donna, or Ellen and Pat were laughing because she said, oh, we got about 8 clocks. And I said, oh. And she said, oh, but yours is a nice clock. The other ones are kitchen clocks. Tactful as ever, Pat was. But
have had a better place to grow up with all of you in our lives. So thank you. Please stay connected. We really want to stay connected to this community. And we appreciate so much that you're here. Thank you.
She's a leader.